Welcome to the Art Lewis Show. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we're going to learn about the Vietnam Wall coming to Chesaning during the 10 o'clock hour. At 11 o'clock, we'll learn about McNally Office Services. But this is an open hour. Whatever you'd like to chat about, 989-752-6111. We'll talk a little bit about Dolly Parton coming up here in just a moment, and several other things. But I had to start with this one. I chuckled when I read this. The state of Florida, through its Chamber of Commerce, has launched a billboard campaign in Times Square, New York. Right smack downtown at the corner of Broadway and West 43rd Street. There is the Chamber's Free Enterprise campaign, which has anointed New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani as Florida's Economic Developer of the Year. And why did they do that? Well, they did that because of his threatening tax policies and all of that, and companies moving out. And so they put up this billboard. And you'd wonder, well, does that really do anything? Well, apparently the chamber president of the Florida Chamber, Mark Wilson, said inquiries from executives in blue states have been huge. People literally texting us saying, hey, I'm seeing this. It's amazing. Our country needs this discussion. We're looking to move. Companies from Washington, California, Illinois, and New York have contacted the chamber asking for information. But I just thought that was hilarious that they named Mamdani Florida's Economic Developer of the Year because his policies are causing many companies to want to leave New York. Wilson from the chamber said that he got a call from a company in Rochester, a tech company, very interested in getting out of New York and moving to what they call the land of opportunity. And one of Mamdani's spokesmen previously had told Fox News Digital, in response to the ad, that, quote, by any metric, New York City's economy under Mayor Mamdani is as strong as it's ever been. I don't know what world he lives in. I thought there was a $12 billion deficit the last I heard. But anyway, it's a digital billboard, 1500 Broadway and West 43rd in Times Square. And I just had to chuckle at that. Very, very clever, very clever way of doing things. I just want to touch for a second before I get to the phones on Dolly Parton. At 80 years old, a great entertainer in lots of ways, not just her music that she sang, but the music she wrote, because she was a prolific writer. But more than that, a pretty good humanitarian, really, when you think about it. She had a lot of causes, literacy among them, that she championed. And the other thing about her is she stayed out of politics to the point where she wouldn't accept the Freedom Award from the White House. She turned it down twice because she did not want to be involved in any way in the political world. We'll miss her, and her music, thank goodness, will live on, as will her movies and songs she wrote and Dollywood and all of those things. But we lost one of the really good ones. All right, let's go to the phones here. We'll start with Mike in Thomas Township. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Art. How are you doing this fine morning?
Good.
Listen, did you happen to see the interview that Jesse Waters did with Abdul Salim, whatever his name is?
Abdul Al-Sayed.
Syed. Yeah.
No, I did not.
can never-
I read something about it, but I didn't see it.
It was I watched the whole thing because it was very interesting. He asked a lot of questions, Jesse did, and he got zero answers to any of his questions that were one that would require a yes or no answer.
Yeah, that's what I
And
understood.
none of them, not a single one. He just talked, and the guy's really a good speaker. He's like a snake oil salesman.
Well,
Man,
let's understand. He's not a dumb man.
Oh no, I didn't say that.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would expect him to be able to do what he did because he's not a stupid person.
No, he was fast on his feet. I mean, he talked and talked and talked, and but never really ever, not once, answered a question.
Yeah.
But which kind of scares me a little bit because some of them were, for example, would be Sharia law. Are you in favor of it? He wouldn't answer that. Well, gee whiz, Dearborn has a Sharia law already, so it just. Anyway, it's going to be interesting because the regular stations don't ever mention stuff like that. About his, it's always everything positive, and he's got some positive speaking too. When he does his commercials, I mean, he gets around the points. But and then the other thing I wanted to mention is Dolly Parton. What a wonderful person, and I don't know if you ever met her. But we went to Dollywood one time when she was there, and so I got a chance to just talk to her briefly. But, I kind of wish she had accepted the Medal of Freedom because it really has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah, but if you accept it from one president, that kind of aligns you. So I understand why she didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand that too, but I kind of wish. But she was out there twice, and I don't know if both of them were Democrats or Republicans.
I don't know either.
And of course, she could. Anyway, but
okay.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Right. Take care. Bye-bye. And we'll chat with Gene in Saginaw Township. Gene, good morning.
Good morning, Art. I heard this story about President Trump's plan to rename Lake Ontario.
Never going to happen.
Well, I was just wondering whose responsibility is to name these lakes and landmarks.
That's an interesting.
Who named it? Lake Michigan?
I don't know,
and
but
I know it isn't the President of the United States, but somebody must have that authority or responsibility.
I would think so, but I also think Ontario would probably have a say in it. So,
I would suppose that.
Listen.
I just got thinking about it, and I thought, I don't know whose responsibility that was to name all these landmarks.
I've got to be honest. I was surprised that they actually changed the name to the Gulf of America instead of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, and what he did can be undone by the next one. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, I would imagine it should be up to the Atlas companies that print these maps and things like that.
Well, I guess I would question who has the territorial authority over the lakes because theoretically, for example, Lake Ontario, if you draw a line across the middle of it, does the United States control half? And Ontario control half, in the same way that you have controlled waters off the coasts of the United States for 12 miles. How far does our reach go into the lakes? And I don't know. I really don't know. But
I just got wondering about it today, and I suppose I could go to my computer today and do a little research. But
you
I
could.
thought you might know.
Yeah, I don't. I have no idea. I just chuckled when I heard it. I mean, that's he likes to stir the waters, and So, that's water to be stirred. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, good talking to you, Art.
Same here. We'll talk to you, Gene. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, I heard that and I went, oh, come on, aren't there better things to talk about? What was the other one the other day? I mentioned it. Oh, he had supposedly jokingly about giving himself the Medal of Honor and one of his sons the Medal of Honor. I think you better read up on what the Medal of Honor stands for. Anyhow, take a break. 989-752-6111.
Storm Master Exteriors want...
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. Lines open for you, 989-752-6111. So you just heard the promo about flock cameras. I will reiterate a few things that I had said a month or two ago about flock cameras. First of all, I will tell you right up front, I am a supporter of flock cameras based on their ability to help law enforcement solve crimes. Now, the big discussion is the misuse and how it can be misused and all of that. I will grant you that a few, very few, police officers have misused the system, tracking family members, former wives and all of those things. Yeah, that's a misuse of the system. But when a handful of people do it, does that negate the thousands and thousands across the country that do it the right way? I don't think so. Now, here's the thing about flock cameras that you have to understand. They're designed for one major purpose, and that's to read license plates. And Flock recently has changed the storage recommendations from 30 days to 7 days. Now, departments can pick their own time frame, so to speak. And what that means is after that 7-day period, or whatever period the department chooses, up to 30 days, all that information disappears that day. And the next day, 30-day-old information disappears. There is an exception if you are, as a police agency, investigating a crime and you've gotten leads from Flock and you continue to search more. There is a holdover for specific documented plates. Now, here's the part that I like to point out. Others will disagree with me, and I understand that. When you drive your automobile, you are driving on public streets, displaying your license plate as required by law, but you have a vehicle on a public road with a publicly displayed license plate. What is your expectation of privacy? There is none. Anybody walking on a sidewalk and your car goes by can see your license plate. Any police officer in a cruiser getting up behind you can see your license plate. Anybody can see your license plate all the time. When it comes to your vehicle, your expectation of privacy against unwarranted search, seizure, and all that stuff, to me anyway, ends at the door of the car. In other words, a police officer doesn't have the right to stop you just on a traffic stop and say, "Get out, I want to search your car." They have to have probable cause. So the interior of your car is separate from your privacy expectations from the outside of your car. So I don't see what the big hue and cry is. And I understand people don't like to be surveilled. Well, guess what? You're on camera everywhere. And not only are you on cameras put up by stores, by communities, what have you, but every person walking around with a cell phone is a camera and can take pictures of you all day long. So I think it's a specious argument, this privacy thing about, unwarranted surveillance. Well, guess what? You put yourself on the public street. You're driving your automobile in a public fashion. So that's my view of it. Now, again, You're welcome to disagree. That's what makes a race. I understand not everybody agrees with my view of it, but that's the way I see it. All right, back to our phones. Rachel is in Bay City. Rachel, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I would disagree just with that. The main point isn't about reading license plates. It's about constant mass surveillance. It's crazy and excessive. The misuses of, these
are few and far between.
People who we've found out about thus far misusing it, which is very disturbing. Well, they won't be prosecuted, I'm sure.
Well, don't be sure of that. I think you might be wrong about that. You might be wrong about that.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's the mass surveillance. It's.
So what? I mean, you're driving on a public street.
They also point them at children, at playgrounds, at everything else.
No. They're pointed to streets.
And they track people as well, pedestrians, walking. And
where'd you hear that?
Nope. I have watched many hours of video on this. You haven't. I know that. I have.
Yeah. Well, okay.
It's real.
All right.
It's real.
All right.
They tell us it's for our safety. It's not. It is absolutely not. This is a toe in the door to go around. It's to have a loophole around warrants. They don't want to have to do their job and actually have a reasonable, articulable suspicion on you. They want to just have absolute mass surveillance. I'm sure you've seen what's been going on in China for at least a decade, right?
Yeah, that's China.
Yeah, that's the first step.
Well,
you always miss the bigger picture.
Everything is the first step in life, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's disturbing, and I'm ecstatic about the people who are opposing it.
All right, that's fine. And so we agree to disagree.
Yes. Yep. All right, thank you.
Yep, you bet. Thanks, Rachel. Bye-bye now. And let's talk to Mark in Midland. Mark, good morning.
All right, Art, how are you, sir?
Good.
Hey, the only pushback that I had was a little bit of thunder was stolen there, was in regards to ex-fiancés or ex-boyfriends, husbands, whatever you want to call them, taking that information and tracking somebody all day. I don't think that's the right thing to do.
Well, listen, I agree, and there are laws against it, but the fact is that that's a handful out of thousands.
And that's the same handful took over in Chicago an apartment complex. The same handful are the ones that are legally voting.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Just a handful.
Well, yeah, but let me ask you this. A handful took over an apartment in Chicago, right? Should we shut down all apartments so they can't get at them?
No, but we were told that didn't happen. We were told that.
Well, forget
that.
That case that's ridiculous. You know that, and I know that. But the point is, why are you using that as an example of misuse of flock cameras? It's one incident.
I understand that, but that's the thing. It's always one incident we know about.
Listen,
that we
you know what?
About. Well,
how many? Hey, wait a minute, Mark. Mark, wait a minute.
Yeah.
How many people speed on the highway and can cause accidents?
Many.
Should we shut down the highways?
Didn't say that.
Well, yes, you did, because a handful did it. You want to change something.
I'm talking a handful that track people. That's not right.
Well, but
shouldn't have been allowed.
No, it isn't. It's not allowed. That's the point. It's not allowed, but people. Well, of course, it happens. That's my point. Is everything happens in life, doesn't it? You can make all the rules you want. Somebody's going to break them.
You have to fix it. You have to put a safeguard in, firewall, whatever it is.
Safeguard is you arrest and prosecute these people.
Well, that doesn't happen.
And there is now, from what I understand, Flock is going to require case numbers if you pull the information down and use it. So they're aware of it too. But I just, this notion because a handful does it, we need to really, change everything. We have to change the way it operates, or we have to pull them down, or we have to do this, that, the other thing. If we did that to everything in life, we wouldn't have anything because
this term of a handful is just a sidestep of what the issue is, and the issue has to be fixed. A handful of people on 9/11 came over and took over airplanes and destroyed and killed a lot of people.
Right.
But we changed policies. We changed ways. Once it got exposed, we changed. And I think that's all we're asking for is, hey, that's a loophole. Let's change it. Put something in place that doesn't ever happen again, and you'll get public trust.
There's no way to do that, though, because somebody sometime is going to figure out how to get around it. You know that. You're bright enough to know that. You know you cannot totally isolate everything from wrongdoers.
Well, you asked for opinions.
No, I understand, but we're debating it. I'm offering you mine. Yeah. You've offered me yours. That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Sure.
But
my opinion, when it says rare, situations, when media says it's a rarity, it shouldn't be at all, and you just have to fix the problem is all I'm going to say.
Well, and I go back to what I said. There shouldn't be anybody speeding on the highway, but they do, and they kill people. So how do you fix it? How do you fix it? What's the fix?
Well, you could have regulators on your vehicles that, you only go 80 and then it stops. It won't go any faster. So you could fix it.
Yeah, you could. Have they? Will they? No.
Don't know.
No, we know. So. It's not going to happen. All right.
All righty, sir.
Hey, good enough. Thanks. I appreciate the conversation. Yep. Bye-bye now.
Yep.
A break, and then we'll be back with more.
Gotta go.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW, and Gene is in Bay City. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning. Trump really likes Dolly Parton. She was a Republican.
Whoa. How do you know that? Just out of curiosity, because she's always been apolitical.
I listen to so many different stations. That's what I heard. I mean, of course, I can't prove it, but, that is what I heard. But anyhow, Donald Trump, he's got the flags at half-staff because he really likes her. The thing with him, he wants his legacy to last after he's gone. And he's putting his name on buildings and gold statues and everything. I wish he would look at her and her life and how, even though she's gone, her legacy is going to go on forever because she was so kind and generous. She gave money to for books for kids and gave money to the black community.
Yeah, she had causes.
What?
She had causes, and she followed through on them.
I don't know why I'm having trouble hearing you.
I said
I got to buy a new.
She had causes that she believed in, and she supported them publicly, very good.
But I wish he would look. Having his name on things and golden statues, they're going to be gone before long. After he's gone, they're not going to last because people are going to take them off and take them down.
Right.
I wish he would look at her, and if he really wants his legacy to last, that he would start doing some kind, good things to help some other people, less fortunate people, do some of the kind of things that she did, he would have a legacy.
Let me give you the bad news. Here's the bad news, Gene. I've known of Donald Trump most of my life, being in New York. What you see is what you get, and you're not going to change him.
Yeah, I know,
Period. But for good or bad.
I always pray for people to improve.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, they say nothing is above God or below. God can change people, And I always keep up hope that maybe,
Hope is wonderful. Hope is absolutely wonderful, and I think we should always have hope. But there's also reality.
Yeah, have I got time that I can talk a minute about something else?
Real quick, go ahead.
Trump is mad at South Korea because South Korea didn't want to get involved with Iran. So he's kind of punishing them by taking away some of the benefits that they were getting from us and praising North Korea leader. That makes me sick.
Yeah, that's a
But
joke.
North Korea has just sent 8,000 troops that are trained with all these modern electronic drones and everything else. North Korea is helping Russia to fight against Ukraine. Personally, it makes me sick.
They've been doing that
I
a while.
wish, that was one good thing about Graham. Even though I'm a Democrat and he was a Republican, I still, I liked a lot of things about Graham because, he fought for the free countries and he tried to get Trump to help Ukraine. And but at any rate, people would be aware. It makes me sick that he praises North Korea leader.
All right.
And well, anyhow,
Gotcha.
thanks for listening today,
Sure.
and have a nice afternoon.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
989-752-6111. Let me talk about your car for a minute. Not your license plates, not the flock cameras, but your car. Because when you're driving it around and it gets dirty, what do? You stop and you get it washed, right? Or you wash it yourself, either way. But what do you do when the internals get dirty? Your pistons, your injectors, your valves. They build up with carbon and oxidize over time, and what that does is reduces the performance and mileage of your automobile. So you're asking yourself, well, what can I do about that? Well, you can visit my friends at Quick Lane Freeland and wash your engine internally with an engine performance treatment. It's 2 parts. One part goes in the gas tank, cleans everything that touches the gas. The other part goes in the engine and cleans everything that touches the oil. Here's John from Quick Lane Freeland to explain how it all works.
Hi, Art. Our fuel treatment goes in the fuel tank and cleans everything gas touches, including carbon buildup on injectors. Our oil treatment cleans the gunk and grime inside the engine. After 15 minutes, we drain the oil and the sludge comes out with it. Works on both cars and trucks.
All right, thanks, John. And you will notice the difference right away. You'll start your car, it'll be quieter, it'll run smoother. And you'll see, depending how you drive, and it always depends on how you drive when it comes to gas mileage, but you should see an increase. Get some giddy up and go with a clean engine at Quick Lane Freeland, part of the McDonald Ford complex. And remember, at Quick Lane, they still sell all their new tires at just $5 over cost.
Retirement is more.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Back to our phones. Mitch is in Saginaw. Mitch, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
All right. I just wanted to call and say I think it's a great idea that Trump put the flags at half-staff for Dolly Parton. She's been a cornerstone to the country music community, to philosophical communities. She's just been a great person all around.
Yeah.
I do know a few people that are upset about it, and it just drives me nuts that it's like, I understand Trump isn't doing the best, and that's all good and fine. Everyone can have their own opinion. However, he's still our president, and just nitpicking at every little thing he does doesn't make us look good as a country. And then to nitpick over something like this is just silly to me.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason people are upset is typically they think that flying flags at half-staff are for politicians and notables and military. But that's not to say it couldn't be used for something else. And I also think that while that applies only to federal, states and locals can make their own decisions.
I agree. I agree 100%. Like, if we were going to make it like that, then we can't do it for anyone. And you mentioned we do it for notables. Well, man, I would say that she's been very notable. And like I said, the country community, philosophical community, she has fans all around this entire world.
Yeah. It's one of the things you can rally for, So,
right.
I don't have a problem with it.
No, I don't think it's not a bad idea. I wish he'd get his head out of the sand with Iran, though.
Good luck.
All right, Art. I won't keep you all day.
All
I
right,
appreciate
Mitch.
talking to you. I've been listening to you for about 20 years now.
Thanks.
Never called, so.
Appreciate it.
You have a great day.
You do.
Yeah, no
Call
problem.
again. Take care. Bye-bye now.
I will.
All right. Bye-bye. And in Saginaw, we find Dave this morning. Dave, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. I'm a second-time caller to you. I called you before. You and I have something in common. I just want to do a couple quick follow-up comments to the people that were really complaining about the camera system and stuff. Yeah. How many people do you drive down the road, see with no license plate, in the window, not there, on the car, not there, speeding, driving in and out of traffic like they're a race car driver?
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a good idea that these people are sidelined because it's going to cause somebody death.
Well, it won't, the problem is it won't sideline them because it has no way of identifying the car if it can't read the plate. It can see what
Correct.
color it is, but that's, how many cars are out there the same color. That's a job where a police officer and a cruiser has to stop them and say, where's your license plate? Now, many of them, and here's the other problem too, you will see cars at times that have no license plate. It may be a new purchase where they've put up a temporary plate in the window. It's like a cardboard plate. And some of those rear windows can be tinted and you can't see it. And that's, I've seen that on the highway a few times in several cars where they have they just bought it and it's got a temporary thing in the window and you can't read it.
Back when I started in this law enforcement world, if you had tinted windows and did not have a doctor's script for it, you're supposed to be able to identify a plate. And they've gone way overboard with this tinting window. If you're not in a southern state or Florida, you've caused some serious disruption with people driving down the road.
Well, the only,
they're not.
The only real regulations anymore have to do with the front side windows and the windshield.
Correct.
And that's just about it.
And I agree. Some people absolutely do need it. I'm moving to a southern state here, and I don't even have tinted windows in my vehicles down there. But nevertheless, that's just the way it is. And the other question was the gentleman was talking about Trump's getting his head out of the sand and all this stuff. There's more terrorists since the last administration was in here walking the streets. Being a two-time person that served over in the sand, I can honestly attest to the fact that these people don't care about Americans. They love America, but they hate Americans. And for anybody that doesn't think that, they really look at the real world because it's out there. Yeah. And to try to change the law of the Constitution of the United States, which was founded by our forefathers, it's not something that you have to throw down the American people's throat.
Well, I don't think it'll happen anyway. There's a lot of talk, but, I find it interesting. They love to come to this country because of its freedoms, and then they use those freedoms to badmouth us while they're here.
Totally agree.
No sense whatsoever.
If you don't like it, go back to your home country and stand in line with your food stuff and everything else. So,
and try bad mouthing your own country and see what happens.
Exactly. The worst thing is the way they treat veterans. I mean, I just find it to be these people sacrifice blood.
Yep.
for the rights that you're afforded
Well,
today.
glad
And
you
they don't get it.
Glad you're bringing that up, because next hour we're going to talk about the moving Vietnam Wall coming to Chesaning. So we'll talk to some veterans.
I've escorted that wall when I was in a motorcycle club. So it's a very rewarding thing in Sanford a couple times.
Yep.
And, people really need to realize how many people sacrificed their life, left from high school, got drafted, and ended up never coming home.
All right. Dave, we're going to have to interrupt because I'm out of time, but appreciate the call, friend. Thanks.
Have a great day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye. And that'll do it for calls. That'll do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show, as a matter of fact. We will have some folks from the VFW with us next hour to talk about the Vietnam Wall coming to Chesaning. More ahead.
Hometown feel and